What's going on? And welcome to another special edition episode of The Best Damn, a wrestling podcast, NXT Takeover New York, a review. Keithan,
Whew,
Takeover.
whew, whew. I'm still hyped. I'm very hyped. Like I just had to watch the replay because I wasn't able to watch it with everybody else.
Right.
So my level is on a 110 right now,
No doubt.
especially after that main event. I'm probably gonna speed talk or have short answers to the rest of the matches because that main event just man. I just saw the best match of the free. We'll get to it, man. Look,
Yeah. I'm definitely still on the high. I tweeted last night. If you thought that this was a strategy by the WWE to basically highlight WrestleMania without having to come behind Takeover the very next night, and they thought that that was going to be a good strategy to have it 2 days before, you got another thing coming because
stupid. That would be stupid.
there's no way you copy this. There's no way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Man.
mean, let's just jump right in. I guess we'll talk about the very first thing we found out right before Takeover. They just signed Kushida from New Japan.
That's a huge signing.
For
Huge signing because
sure.
he's done so much in Japan already.
Right.
I
So
was surprised they were even able to close that because I was like, well, when he see what they done with Oscar and Shinsuke, I don't know if he want to come over there, but he still came.
I think he's gonna be just like Nakamura and Oscar as far as having a really good NXT run, but only time will tell on where they go with him after that. But if anything else, that brings another high level talent in to replace some of the guys they're probably about to lose. But that was a big signing. I didn't see that
Right.
coming, and that's somebody that they said AAA said he had been pursuing for some time. But I mean, yeah. So they kicked off the night with that, and then the show started, and I know almost from the opening shot of the show, the energy, man. I'm watching it on TV, and it just felt like it was just unreal last night. Like
Yeah.
something
I wish
else.
I had surround sound so I could feel like I'm there.
I said that too. I was like, man, I gotta really put. I have it in the bedroom, but I don't have it in the living room, and that's usually where I watch.
Right.
All the wrestling events, and I was like, man, I really need to buy a sound system for the living room. But sound system be damned. I mean, just amazing card. I'm a little, maybe it's just me. I thought it was good, not like great, but
I,
still
I, I
very,
thought I was
very.
gonna be in the minority. I'm right there along with you. To me,
Yeah,
I feel like it was a. I feel like it wasn't all 5-star matches. I feel like 3 out of 5 were great matches.
right, and I'll get to what really just turned me on my side as far as like there was a slim difference from it being very good to just good, and
Yeah,
but I mean they started off the night with yet another War Raiders entrance that was epic. These niggas
amazing.
do an entrance, they can do an entrance.
Yes, yes. And it
So
looked like it was gonna be the same one from the last takeover till they came up the stage. I was like, oh, I was like, oh, they elevated it a little
You know
bit.
what? I'm starting to think they may be one of the best tag teams in WWE. Period. Like I'm starting to really believe they may be one of the best. Period on any platform. Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Those guys are they're good.
I
They're
feel
supposed.
like when people see them and they see that size, they're like, what can these guys do? But when you see them in that ring, I mean, amazing.
Yeah,
I'm
and we
starting.
kind of watched that match together at the beginning.
Yeah,
Before, yeah, I mean, just the stuff they were doing, man. Obviously, Ricochet and Aleister Black came out. We both have talked about how we felt about them being a tag team, but they still managed to put on a great show. They
yes.
they still managed to put on a great show. I mean, there were so many spots, and they did a good job of working as a team. For them to
Yeah.
be two great individual talents, they
Jail
did
together
such a
real
good
well.
job. Yeah, man, that Black Mass into the 630 was epic. I thought that was the end of the damn match. You
Yeah.
know, the springboard back elbow by Hanson was unreal. Rowe and Alistair Black's chain wrestling. Sorry, couldn't talk there. Was awesome. I mean, you had a little bit of everything in this match.
How
That,
about Hanson doing a front flip to the
off,
outside?
Bro, yeah,
I
I
thought he
was
was just
just
gonna
gonna
do a big belly splash or something, and then he turns into a flip. I was like, where the hell did that come from?
they pulled out all the stops, and I think we talked about this before me and you stopped talking yesterday. That match almost made the War Raiders relevant again, did it not?
Absolutely. I feel like this solidified them as a solid tag team. Now you gotta get people to get on their level. You gotta get a team on their level.
Street
And
Profits. I'm
yeah,
still.
Street
I'm,
Profits are definitely there. More than the Forgotten Sons, more than any other tag team. I
yeah,
feel like Street Profits are next up.
yeah, and we talked about this on the prediction show, and we said, hey, if the War Raiders should pick up the win, which they did on a great, a great finish, which they did. Where do they go from here with the tag team title and the NXT tag team titles and the tag team division? I mean, I think you start at the Street Profits
Yeah,
and work your way down. You
yeah,
know,
you have
and
to.
and I gotta say, man, this was different because there wasn't a heel in this match at all. You had two good guy tag teams
Right.
going at it, and there was a mutual respect there. You saw a
Yeah.
lot of going on through one-upmanship throughout the match.
Yeah,
It
I
was
like how they played that. I like how, when Rowe was about to punch Alistair Blackboy, he pulled back.
right,
And then
right,
Alistair was about to hit him with the kick, but he pulled back and like left it on his shoulder. I like that. That's something I've never seen when it's two baby faces going against each other.
yeah,
So I like how
yeah.
they thought outside the box with that.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, but of course, again, War Raiders end up winning the match, which it kind of surprised me because at one point I was like, okay, well, they're gonna win this, but then it kind of didn't because we talked about this. You kind of expected, and I think after last night on what we're about to talk about, you kind of expect this to be Aleister Black and Ricochet's last NXT match, and I pretty sure based on the ovation they got and Ricochet crying and stuff like that, that was
That's it.
probably
Yeah.
that's probably it.
Yeah.
I can't lie, that was an emotional moment for me too. Cause though you for the last year or more, those dudes have tore the house down on
Yeah.
a month to month basis, 15 months or more, no matter who you put them with and what capacity. Hell, halftime heat. They did halftime heat. They were so hot instead of the main roster, they did halftime heat.
Yeah.
Guys have been so good for so long, and to see them leave, man, it's like a piece of my soul left with them last night.
Yeah, because for me, I don't know what's gonna happen to them over there on the main roster. I mean, I know the superstar shakeup is coming up, but what's gonna become of them? What kind of rivalry are they gonna be in?
I'm gonna be
They're in the hands of Vince McMahon now, not just Triple
yeah,
H.
yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that the best way to get them started on a hot note, they lost last night. They need to win at Mania. I really do believe that would be a great way to get them started.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
I believe that would be a great way to get them started and stuff, and then put them into a nice little program with, say, the Usos or somebody else that can
That
help
would
them
be great.
really. Right, if you can reestablish tag team wrestling for real, on the SmackDown brand and go from there.
For
I
one, you gotta
yeah,
get rid of some of those cheesy ass tag teams that you don't need, like
uh,
the Ascension and Heavy Machinery. You need to get
there
rid of
we
them.
go.
Just-
You need to let this go.
no, they need to let them go. They're
Yeah,
taking up space. It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Jesus.
And I'll just leave it at that.
This guy fucking hates heavy
I
machinery.
really fucking do. I really fucking do. It's so stupid.
Didn't you
T-
call me during the pre-show on Rumble? It's like, or Elimination Chamber, and you was like, "What the fuck are these motherfuckers doing on the pre-show?" Like,
I
they were
think it
on
was
the
Elimination
pre-show.
Chamber. It might have been Elimination Chamber if they showed up to it.
Arguing with the bar, and Booker T's kind of sitting there looking uncomfortable because
Oh
there's,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I was like, what the hell is this? What? They can't
yeah.
even cut a promo. All they do is yell and say dumb stuff. Man, I could go on. Look, next match. Damn it.
I give that man a plus. I did. Call me
Oh, I
biased,
loved it.
but
I
it should be
loved it.
the last match. That's how you go out. Even though I would have preferred to see them go out in a one-on-one situation against
Yeah.
somebody, that was a beautiful way to go out. The ending was great. Again, it scared me a little bit because I was hoping Ricochet wasn't really hurt. He looked like he was kind of out of it when the match first ended, but he managed to make it to his feet. I hope he's okay.
I
But
hope
yeah,
so too.
yeah, A plus for me. I think uh, overall, great story, great drama, great high spots, everything. Beautiful way to end it. And this nobody looked bad. I mean, they didn't
At
look bad
all.
taking the loss. They
At
didn't.
all.
And then there was a mutual respect there from the War Raiders, because they shook hands and hugged and stuff. It was a great way to go out, and I just hope that that's not the last time we see them on a high level.
Yeah.
Only time will tell what WWE's plans are for them, but I hope that this wasn't the last time we seen somebody that really respected them and understood how valuable they really were. And I tweeted last night, they've set the bar so high for the next crop of guys.
Right.
NXT is a brand of its own right now because of two of those guys. It's 7 of them total, but 2 of them are contributors.
Yeah.
Those 2 are contributors.
Yeah, one thing about WWE, they've been consistent. Well, Triple H and his team, they've been consistently scouting and negotiating with people. So the crop of guys they got coming in, I definitely have good faith in them. I have
Yeah,
good faith in
yeah,
them.
yeah, definitely. And speaking of crop of guys and up and comers, and the next match, and I don't know if you can still call him an up and comer. And I'm gonna touch on this theory here and stuff with him and a little bit later on down the card. But Matt Riddle and Velveteen Dream was the second match. Now, if anybody listened to our predictions before Takeover, and if you remember, I told you it's always the middle of the card it's always the
Yeah.
second, the third match that steals the show. To me, Matt Riddle, Velveteen Dream stole the show. I truly believe that.
Yeah, I thought that the tag team match was gonna like set the bar, which it did, but Matt Riddle and Velveteen Dream came and shattered that out the gate, out the gate. I just loved how they worked. It was a point in time during the match where I said, "Is there any style that Velveteen can't work?" Like because Matt
Right.
Riddle is straight technician, and Velveteen worked well with him.
You saw a lot of technical from him, and
Yeah,
that's surprising. But another thing that you seen, and I tweeted this, Matt Riddle manhandled him most of that match.
yeah, he did. He did.
He was pulling out all kinds of the guy is a star.
That
Hands
damn
down.
spot when he did the suplex off the second rope, where he just lifted him up from off the apron.
What about the damn moonsault into a swanton? Like
I never seen that. The bro torn, like I'm like, what is that? He called it the bro drop or something. I'm like, what the hell is that? That's
yeah,
amazing.
whose offense is unreal. I mean,
Yeah,
unreal. And you want to talk about an old school caliber wrestler? Like you don't see guys slapping the body while they're applying a hold and
yeah,
stuff like he was doing last night. I mean, this dude is a star. He's a
yeah.
bona fide star, and to say that against a guy like Velveteen Dream, which is a coveted star, a homegrown talent, I mean, he should have won last night. That's my honest opinion. He should have won last night.
I kind of thought he was gonna win, but then again, I think in the prediction I said that Velveteen Dream was gonna keep it because they want him to build up a little more in NXT. I think they're gonna let him keep it at least probably one more takeover, then call
Yeah,
it
but
a day with him.
where do you go from here as far as another opponent? I mean,
Uh,
nobody is believable.
I guess probably the new crop of guys they got coming in.
Yeah,
That's where they'll go.
an option. I
Yeah,
mean,
Kushida got to go straight to the top.
yeah, he could be an option. I you know, and you know what, Matt Riddle up until that point, if I'm not mistaken, had lost a match. But even the way he lost didn't look bad. He didn't take a
No,
perfect Rainmaker or a Dream Valley driver to lose it.
yeah, he
He
kicked out
lost.
all those.
Yeah, he just lost on a roll up in the sense. I mean, it just was one of those things. And NXT does a great job of protecting talent. As far as like, hey, they took a loss, but not in a degrading way. He didn't get pinned 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. Dream barely escaped with the title. You know,
Hmm.
so It's just I don't know, man.
It did good for both of them. It was a solid turnout for them. I don't think it's over. That's my opinion. I hope it's not over between them, because
Close
that
enough. No, definitely. I'm of the same mindset, man. I don't know. I'm just disappointed, and this is gonna be a theme for me going through this card. Is like, the
where do they go next?
right because I felt like that the next guy up the challenge for the NXT title, no matter who the champion was, should have been Dream. But I
Yeah,
felt like in order for him to do that, he needed to lose. I felt like to solidify Matt Riddle, you needed to give him the title. Although he solidified, I mean, his performance more than everybody in that arena knows that Dream barely escaped. Like it
yeah.
literally, he
Matt
literally
Riddle's not gonna
barely.
stay in NXT too long. He's not.
No, I can't see him doing it. I mean, he barely escaped. He was manhandled. I had never seen a match where he's usually pretty evenly matched, or something along those lines, or he's usually the better competitor, but nothing about that told me anything different. I was like, yeah, Matt Riddle has it. He has it. He has it. Then
Yeah,
it's up. There's the roll up. What the fuck? I'm disappointed in that outcome. Great match though. I still to me stole the show by all means. The entrance that Dream had was great.
yeah,
Or whatnot. I mean, this was the first time you actually seen Matt Riddle. You know, with a elite competitor in to a certain degree. He normally you had a guy like Cassius Ono or Drew Gulak or whoever else you want. He hadn't been in an elite match with somebody like this before.
that's true. That's true.
So
He hasn't, but it was a good. It was his first real, in my opinion, his first Matt Riddle's first real opponent. If you want me to get real serious about it, his first real opponent, his first real challenge, and I
yeah,
liked
yeah,
it.
and he again dominated him, but he lost the match, and I think that's the difference. And it just you were kind of in shock. I know I was. I'm like, how the hell? And it was like people were just sitting there like, what? How?
Yeah, yeah. This is the new wave of WWE. This right here, what we witnessing,
Meaning,
meaning that this new crop is gonna overshadow the present one you got right now. With the whole Randy Orton's, all of them of the world.
right?
When AJ Styles decides to hang it up, these guys are gonna be right there to carry on. You know,
If used properly. I mean,
yeah,
you just don't know because you've had so many others that came up that were in these same positions before with the Finn Balor's of the world and the Shinsuke Nakamura's and the Ember Moons and the Oscars and the list is endless. They get up there at the Big E's. They get up there and it's like this was the same person I was watching 12 months ago that was tearing it up. He was a top guy on the developmental roster, and
yeah,
now, or a top lady, and now they're just like, what are we doing?
right.
So, if not used correctly, you in a year's time, you could very well be asking yourself that question about an Aleister Black or a Ricochet. Like, why? What are we doing with them? You sanity. You see what happened to them. Nikki Cross. I mean, it's still going on.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
I just don't know. I mean, but again, Velveteen Dreams is still a really young guy. He's only 23 years old. I'm pretty sure they're going to protect him more than others because he's a homegrown guy. They want that guy to be more successful than people coming off the indie scene who had things like that. I'm sure, but
Yeah, you don't have many guys that get it as fast as him. That's able to learn as quickly as him, and that's skilled and able to get over. So they definitely want to take their time with that.
but even still, I mean, Matt Riddle is. I don't even have the words for this guy. He's a
He
star.
he had to be wrestling for 5 years and that good, him and
Yeah,
Velveteen Dream in the same boat because they both been wrestling for the same amount of time, just about. And look how good they are.
yeah, no, definitely. I don't disagree. To me, again, that match stole the show. I gave it an A+.
I wanted more. It was too short for me. I wanted
Yeah,
more.
yeah. I gave it an A+. I think it had everything. And we talked about this. It was supposed to be a perfectly balanced match. It was. It had high spots. It had high flying. It had technical wrestling, chain wrestling. You name it. It had all of that. You pretty much got a 5-tool match out of this.
And there wasn't really a lot of slow moments in it. It was just a
No, it wasn't.
constant.
It was not. Yeah, and that's very true. And it didn't lull or whatnot. Again, A+. First two
Yeah,
matches, A+. A+.
yeah, definitely.
Um, After that, I got the match that I, at least personally, was most looking forward to. I wanted to see this to see how it was going to turn out more than anything else.
Yeah.
Uh, that was Pete Dunne and Walter for the NXT UK title. Um, is it me, or did this match kind of drag a little bit?
It drug a lot.
It started quick, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be a high impact match. But then it got so physical and bogged down, and I found myself losing interest at points in times, and I'm like, uh,
But well, you weren't the only one. The crowd was losing interest too. You could see people on the front row who are usually standing up. Like in the first two matches, they were standing up cheering. They were just sitting down looking because it was a drag. It was a drag. It was just
and that's the European style. Like you
yeah.
saw a lot of European wrestling. You did. And Walter was very good as far as being technical and hit like there was mat wrestling and grappling and stuff like that. And Pete Dunne is a grappler and a submission and technician artist.
Yeah.
But I was like, good God, like this is
It
it
seemed
just
like they were going more Walter speed than Pete's.
right, and it seemed to suck the wind out of the building, and it still has some good spots like Pete Dunne power bombing Walter, carrying him
Yeah.
halfway across the ring in a power bomb. That was great. Pete Dunne hitting the bitter end. That was great. The chops from Walter, those were great. The fucking shotgun drop kick that almost threw him across the ring was great. The top rope spots were good. I mean, you saw a lot of that. All of that was good, but I still was like, this match is dragging. It's sucking the wind out of the building.
It was a drag because at certain spots, you could tell that their communication was a little off. They were trying to get the spots together.
Yeah,
You could kind of see them like talking. I was like, oh, okay, all right, something not going right. Like at
they
that
some,
last spot with the
yeah, and
power
they
bomb.
yeah they somehow managed to pull it together to get a good finish. I like the finish was good, and we talked about this, but Pete Dunne ends up taking the loss after 685 days of holding that title. So I say that to say, now what?
That's what I'm wondering. That's the real question. I mean, who's next up? Is it Tyler Bate or who would they bring up to do that? You know, that's the main thing I'm wondering.
The other guys from Gallus again. I'm not bought
Oh
into.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot about them. You're right.
I'm not bought into them. But at this stage, again, remember we talked about this. Pete Dunne, I said this last night. These were the two best guys on their roster. I don't think that was a debate after last night.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why Pete kept it 2 years
Right.
because they needed somebody.
Right. These were the two best guys on the roster.
I think
But
eventually you're gonna have Devlin coming.
exactly, and I don't disagree with that. But at this stage, if Pete couldn't beat him and Pete pulled out all the stops, this might have been one of his best wrestled matches to date. If he couldn't do it, who else do you have?
That's true.
And what is it going to take?
Yeah, because he wore Walter down. He broke him down with the technician skills and everything like that.
Right.
I like the way he worked it.
And it won't be believable for me to come out and have one of the Coffee brothers or Devlin or anybody else. And sitting on Devlin, James Devlin. I like him. I like him. He's a good wrestler, good talent. Reminds me a lot of Finn Balor.
Yeah,
But
trained by him.
right, exactly. But it's unrealistic to me visually if Pete couldn't get it done. And I know Pete was the best guy on that roster up to this point. Everybody else is irrelevant. And I know that sounds bad, but who can beat this guy?
And that's the thing, you don't have any big guys in UK except for Mastiff and some other guys. So but
The Gallus is pretty big. Most of those guys are pretty big dudes, you know.
yeah. But I
Yeah,
think they might be next up because they're going to use the whole group to wear Walter down if they want to get that title off of him, which I don't see them taking the title off of him anytime soon.
I don't see him dropping it anytime soon. This could be the start of a long reign. And
He needs some new wrestling attire. I'm sorry. That threw me off too. His wrestling attire. I need Walter to put on some clothes.
Well, dude, that he's been wearing that since the beginning of time. I'm not even
Well,
gonna get on that.
you need to do some cardio.
Dude, he's in some kind of shape. He wrestled a 30-minute fucking match and he didn't look gassed.
And there was some points where he looked gas when he would have like a hold on Pete Dunne. He like
pounds. I don't know how much you can do.
actually wrestling do take a lot of you. It does take a lot out of you.
Right. I mean, but even still, WWE's no fool. And I go back to something else we talked about. I felt like he's over in Europe. He's a huge star over there. If you make him champion and he carries it for a while, you put asses in seats. Not saying Dunn didn't, but people, since Walters came in, people have seen him flock more in that general direction.
Yeah.
You got a 6'6", 300-pound ass-kicking monster that can wrestle, by the way. He's not just a big body. He can actually go. And he's over. So why not give him a run with it and see what he does? And that's what their intention is. But I'm gonna be honest with you, unless they only plan to bring him in to be a European attraction over there on NXT UK, this guy needs to be on the main roster in very short order.
That's the only place he's gonna get some competition that matches up with him.
Yeah, I can see a couple of scenarios. I would love to see him and Brock Lesnar if that were possible. I'd love to see him and Braun Strowman. I'd love to see him and Drew McIntyre. I'd love to see him and the possibilities are.
Yeah, he fits better on the main roster than where he is.
Right. Him and maybe a Samoa Joe or something like that. I mean, you can do something with him. Rusev, there's a lot of guys that you could put him with, and he would. And I now again, I don't know what his promo ability is like. I think he seems to be more of those. Hey, I'm a kick-ass take names type of person, and you might have to put a guy with him that can actually talk on his behalf, give him a heater. But I mean, the guy will probably fare better on the main roster. He needs to be a main roster attraction in short order, unless he was just brought in to put asses in seats for the NXT UK brand. And I'm feeling like that's more of what his intent is. But neither here nor there, again, for me, we kind of seen this coming because it seems like since the very first day Walter came in, you kind of knew.
Yeah, you pretty much knew.
Right. And then putting a belt on him and he has not lost a match yet, it's going to take somebody significant to beat him. And maybe they come back later and say Pete Dunne will beat him the second time around and reclaim the title, but I don't see the sense in that. So with that being said, what do you do with Pete Dunne next?
That's a good question because he had some competition there. I mean, Pete Dunne can have a match with anybody. You know? Yeah. It's just a matter of making it a marquee matchup like this one was.
And he showed no fear coming in, man. Walter didn't dominate Pete Dunne like he's done everybody else. he had some dominant moments, but so did Pete Dunne. I mean, you seen Walter on his ass a lot more than you've ever seen him since he's been in the WWE.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a couple times where I'm like, I'm not used to seeing people get him to fall, and you seen Pete Dunne working on his limbs and stuff. He wasn't. That's not what you're used to seeing with him. But in the same token, I feel like this match further affirmed the fact Pete Dunne is better than everybody else, probably minus this guy. So does he get moved? Do you think that that's why they decided to drop the title? He's getting moved to the main roster, possibly.
I hope
And
not,
what?
because I feel like they need him in UK. I feel like they need him in UK to
Yeah,
keep going. They
UK
need
still
him.
a fairly new brand, and they don't
Right.
have a lot of way of like over guys. I
Yeah.
mean, you get to count top people. What are we talking about? Maybe 7. If you count Mustache Mountain as a tag team, they're over with the folks. Travis Banks, James Devlin, Walter, Pete Dunne. Um, who am I missing here? I mean,
Mm. Isn't Tyler Bate over there?
well, Tyler Bates part of Mustache Mountain, is he not?
Oh yeah, he is. He is. True
Yeah.
that. True that. True that.
That's why I counted them as one group. Uh, I mean, but outside of them, uh, the hell, who else do Tony Storm and Rhea Ripley? I mean, but they're women, and not saying that they don't count, but I'm saying in a way of actual men talent, they don't have many. And even on the
Yeah.
women's, I think the women's division in UK may be a little bit better right now in the form of a variety and wealth of talent.
I don't really get too into their. Well, actually, they do, because compared to NXT's crop of talent, they do have more to work with over there.
Yeah, Rhea
Like,
Ripley, Tony
they got some
Storm.
powerhouses over there.
Yeah, they got some chicks there that I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, I can see it. They got some up and comers. Okay, I can't remember her name, but there's a chick they have. She's an up and comer. I think it's Zaya Brookside. Her
Yeah.
dad used to be a wrestler. Like, yeah, they got some people.
Yeah, she's good.
So, yeah, but what do you go with from here with him? There's going to be a lot of questions that need to be answered now. Who's Walter's next challenger? That's a question. Because, again, from a booking standpoint, I feel like you painted into a corner. Who can I put with this guy that is going to be a believable opponent and that may give him the same type of match as Pete Dunne? But
Yeah.
whoever they put with him, they need to find a way to quicken the pace and add some excitement to the match. And maybe, again, maybe it had a lot to do with the fact that the match should have been done in Europe in the first place. I
Yeah.
think people would have been a lot more into it if it was done in the venue where
Yeah,
it
it's
should
the
go.
styles that really clashed.
Right, because we watch UK, we understand, but we're TV viewers. We're not in the building. Versus, you brought these guys into a venue that they don't wrestle in on a week to week basis. You've taken them out of their element and put them into a New York venue with American people who, yeah, they may be casual viewers like us, but they didn't. Walter and Pete Dunne did not get the pop that they would have gotten, say this had been done on a UK takeover.
Right, because UK people chant throughout the whole match. They'll hold up a shoe and cheer. It's just all type of stuff.
Right.
They
I felt
they
like
really appreciate it.
they took a hit on as far as the pace and swell of support from the fans on the match because we just ain't that familiar with it. You know,
Right.
it's like going back to the territory days and taking a NWA match and wrestling it in Madison Square Garden. It probably wouldn't have got over it would have got over, but it wouldn't have got over with the same pop and enthusiasm that say if it had been done down south because that's where most of the action happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just felt like they did them some injustice.
Sometimes you
Like,
gotta adjust your style to the crowd.
right, and they didn't do that. And you asking a lot from these dudes because they're unfamiliar with what the crowd wants because they don't wrestle over here. Pete
Yeah.
Dunne does, but in spurts. He's been mostly overseas since the start of UK. So I'm a little disappointed. Overall, the match was still good.
I give it a B minus.
I gave it B plus. I said it was B plus. I mean, it still was good. My issue here now is from a booking and storytelling standpoint, what happens to Pete Dunne and who's Walter's next challenger? And can they get him over and lend the same credibility to him that Pete Dunne did building this match up.
Tune in Wednesday to find out.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to do a lot of tuning in, and
It definitely wasn't the worst match. It
no,
definitely wasn't the worst match.
and I hope that from a NXT standpoint, whoever was running the UK brand, I believe it's Triple H, maybe, if I'm not mistaken, he looks at this and says, okay, we need to start doing UK takeovers because we kind of overplayed our hand here, and that the match wasn't done the justice as it was deserved. If you put that same match overseas in London or somewhere and did a takeover, I guarantee you it's almost the equivalent of what the main event of Takeover last night is. You have to move that match overseas. I guarantee
you got to keep it. You got to keep it over there because they were trying to do a UK takeover in Phoenix, but it doesn't make sense because you're not going to have the same.
Do it where it's at. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have those guys over there for a reason. They are over talented.
Doing the Blackpool again.
Right. No doubt. I mean, if you had to, or London or somewhere else, if you had to, it's nothing wrong with doing it there. That's why they're there. Most of that talent is European based. They need to wrestle where they're known at, and then occasionally bring them over here and there. But you basically took some credibility away from your show, UK, to me at least, by bringing it over here and putting it on Takeover. And it was an undercard match. It wasn't even a co-main event.
Right.
So now you send it back over there, and it's like, I think they need to rethink that. But overall, B+ for me. It wasn't the worst match, like you said. I think I'm about to get to the worst.
Yeah, we are.
I'm have a fucking fit.
Well, this is gonna be a hot podcast then.
Right. Even after the air was kind of sucked out of the building, it seemed like it picked back up at the end of that match, and you knew Walter was gonna win and everything, and I was excited about that. We finally get to the match that I've been talking about. Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, Kairi Sane for the NXT Women's title. And everybody comes out, the entrances are right. And I misread this. I'm going to be honest with you, because from the time she came out to she got in the ring to the match started, I was like, this is Bianca's night.
It's her night. Yeah.
I knew it. I'm like, this is her night. She going to be, finally, we got somebody legit that's going to take the belt off Shayna Baszler. And man, I mean, the match overall, I felt like
you gonna get to it before me. Yeah, go ahead. Because I think I have a feeling you're gonna say what I'm thinking.
Okay, yeah, I feel like the match overall kind of it struggled a little bit.
Very much.
Like when Shirai and first off, let me say this.
Go ahead.
It seemed like the fucking thing turned some kind of way into a tag match.
Yep.
And I was like, am I watching a fucking tag match or is it a fatal 4-way? They did more combo moves, Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, and I was like, why couldn't I just see all this shit in the fucking women's tag bout on WrestleMania on Sunday? I didn't have to see this shit. You know,
and then, they didn't really do any moves on each other. They just did like some evasion stuff.
Right.
Like they were evading each other.
And then it seemed, and they kept calling each other's names like that. One of them would perform a move, and Kairi Sane would be like, "Ew," and she would jump off of her and do the little moonsault or some shit. Then she would jump off of her and be like, "Kairi," and this is a fucking fatal 4-way. I'm watching a tag match.
Yeah, I do have to say, when Bianca and Shayna had their time together for each other, it looked like a real match.
That's how it should have been. I was like, man, if they can find a way to kind of eliminate them at points in time throughout the course of the match and just wrestle each other, that would be the point. And even Mauro Ranallo said it. He's like, this match looks like that they want to pin or beat each other. They didn't want to pin the other person, the other two. They wanted to take the fight to each other. It was kind of like Io Shirai and Kairi Sane were out there because they wrote them in, but Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler knew that this was their match, but they
should have been a 1-1 match.
Right. And I mean, okay, so we get to all of this shit, and then we get some incredible spots. Now I will say that when they started breaking up each other's pins, and by they I mean Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, I thought it was a nice touch to see the emotion on their faces about having to stop the other from winning. Kairi Sane was literally crying when she was wrestling, you know,
Yeah.
Io Shirai, and she was gonna go up and give her the damn elbow, or whatnot, or vice versa. So that was a nice touch. But that was about the only nice fucking touch throughout the course of the match. Then, when I think they got it, and I think she finally finna win it, she pulls off an incredible moment. Incredible move. I think the entire arena felt like when Bianca Belair hit the double KOD.
That was it.
Over moment, and that was it. And I thought that she knew that she was about to win it because she's crying and she's trying to roll over. I think it was Kairi Sane to pin her, and I was like, "This is it, finally." And I'm like, she's crying because she's so filled with emotion. Just had a takeover moment, and fucking Shayna Baszler stops the fucking pin. And I was like, no big deal. The match will continue. She's going to pin Shayna Baszler because that's how it needed to be in order to give it legitimacy.
Right.
Next thing
that's what she got to go through.
Clutch and a tap.
Yeah, not just a tap, just a frantic tap.
What the fuck are we doing?
I think that, okay, it's two things for me.
Go ahead, and then I'll give you my theory. I'm going to see if
my first theory is they're not ready for Shayna Baszler to go to the main roster. They feel like she just won't do good over there. That's one theory. Second theory, she still may go to the main roster, but come back and drop the title at the NXT taping. But I feel like you can let her go because you have Mia Yim there. You got other people that you're bringing in. Mia Yim is hot right now.
Underutilized.
Very underutilized.
Not just Mia Yim. You got Casey Canizaro. You got
Casey Canizaro is amazing.
Candice
LeRae. Yeah.
I ain't seen her compete for a title yet. You got talent. Io Shirai ain't ready yet, but I think give her another 6 months or so, and she could be a legitimate.
Keep her and Kairi Sane in the damn tag team. Let them go battle Sasha and Bailey. You know what I'm saying? That's how you bring them over. That's
the match I really want to see. Really want to see.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, I really want to see that. I do. And then
maybe next takeover we'll see that.
Yeah, if they want them, they could compete on different platforms and gives them a little bit more experience. Because Kairi Sane probably needs to be on the main roster. I just don't think she's ready yet.
Right.
But what the fuck?
I just didn't like it.
Twice, and she didn't even pass out this time. So now she really has gotten her ass beat.
Defeated. Can't say undefeated anymore.
No.
Killed the tagline. And it's like, well, what's the point?
God damn it. I'm trying. That ruined the entire takeover for me. And I know it's not supposed to, and I get people gonna be like, "Oh, you're stupid. Fuck you." It ruined the whole thing for me. So
that was the moment that I really wanted. At first, the match was short. It was a trash match, and it was short. It was like a halfway tag team match turned into a 2-on-1 handicap match at times.
Yeah.
It's just like what?
Shayna Baszler barely even fucking wrestled.
She really did. She really didn't. She stayed outside the most.
And you can't even blame the run in. There was no run in. That surprised the fuck out of me. No run in. And y'all still managed for Bianca to lose. Now, my theory is she's a homegrown talent, just like Velveteen. They want to protect her. I don't think they feel that she's ready, and they want to hold off. You could have put the belt on her and still left her down there for a while. She is legitimately better than everybody else. Only people who don't see that.
Yeah.
She is better than everybody else. The only equal, if you even want to call it an equal, that Baszler has is Bianca Belair. So now, to me, you done painted yourself into a fucking dilemma. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to pay much attention the third time around if you try to run this back again.
No, it's not going to mean anything.
No, because you done fucked it off by fucking having her tap. She passed out the last time. I gave you credit. Nice touch. It's Bret Hart Stone Cold-ish. So he didn't lose. She didn't lose. She passed out. But she fucking tapped. She looked like somebody that was fucking drowning and frantic, and
Yeah,
she tapped. She went out a way that a badass shouldn't go out. She
right.
fucking tapped. And not only did she tap, she seemed to be crying while she was tapping. So you also took that away from her. What the fuck were
And
we
then
doing?
with certain things, if the people already had a match, certain spots shouldn't repeat themselves. Like a person should know what the person's gonna do. Like when she stepped on Bianca's arm. Like Bianca, if I'm booking the match, I'm like, all right, don't do that spot because they seen it already. Any person gonna know how to reverse it, like
It,
she did with the hair pulling.
right. But to me, man, it's just certain things you only reserve for certain occasions. A double KOD should have been something that should have ended the whole fucking thing. That place went nuts. It's never been done. That should have been it.
That was the spot of the night.
It was. That should have been it. You win the match off of that. That's a lasting memory. People won't forget that.
Yeah, that was a hot spot that they took the fire out of real quick.
Yeah, they just sucked the win. I mean, all of the life went out of me seeing that because it's the same fucking finish as a couple months ago. And I'm like, and if they decide to your point, put the title on Bianca Belair, the next takeover is until August, which gives you an essentially 4 months, which means that she would probably win the damn thing on a fucking live taping a
Yep,
Wednesday.
just like what I was saying. Change it
It's
on the
not
table.
the same significance. It's
No,
not
it's
going to
not.
be the same thing. That's bullshit.
Yep. Then the next takeover, she may be losing it.
Right. That's bullshit. I felt like this was the time to transition from Baszler and maybe look at. I think there's something to be had there. They seem to legitimately dislike each other in storyline between Shirai and fucking Belair. That's your next feud. That's where you could have started from.
With the
Starting with
title.
the pin on Shirai to beat her, so Bianca Belair became champion. Send Baszler to the main roster. Belair wins the belt. Everybody had her pegged to win this thing. Even her outfit with all the people, everything about last night said Bianca Belair was your new champion, and we get a fucking submission.
Yeah. But it was so much better to bring to like keep it going with Bianca and either EO or Kyrie saying have Kyrie saying EO battle to see who's gonna face Bianca Belair at a taping or
Right,
something.
right, right. I'm
You know what I'm saying? Then you spend a couple weeks getting that out the way, have a couple title matches and stuff between them, get them out the way. Then for the next takeover, you could build up to Mia Yim versus Bianca Belair
What is it with you and Mia Yim all of a sudden?
because to
She's
me,
good. I'm not denying that, but she wrestles on two platforms and don't really have a story at all.
that's because with me, Mia Yim, I'm going off of like you know how they matched up. Mia Yim, she strength wise, they match up well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Both
they do have
strong.
similar. They have similar styles. I don't deny that. I just think that I wouldn't. The Blazing Baddie versus the EST of NXT is a nice touch. I'll give you that.
It'd be some
But
good promos.
oh yeah, for sure. But I, even if it was Candice LeRae because she's
Candice LeRae and her would be great because they're both
because
athletic.
and the story you could go with is she's trying to be Candice Wrestling the NXT Women's Champion because Johnny Wrestling is NXT Men's Champion. That would have been a nice touch.
Yeah. Even
There was
with
ways to
Casey
that.
Canizaro, like
Yeah,
she's great too.
yeah.
Athletic as hell. Like
A little
that's
small.
that's the good thing about having somebody like Bianca Belair as champion. You can put her with so many people. You
Yeah,
can and
they
get a
robbed.
good match.
Right.
Shayna Baszler, it's like what you got?
They robbed her to me last night. I feel like that was a robbery.
It was a hot stinging pile of horse shit. That's what it was.
Yeah, yeah, for real. That whole match was a dud to me. The whole match. She had the better spots in the fucking match. Unless you wanted to see some goddamn tag team wrestling.
I don't think they have faith in Shayna Baszler. That's why they're helping her out.
If I'm not mistaken, and if I'm wrong, I asked somebody to let me know, but I've read somewhere she's like 38. I don't think there's a lot you can do with her at this stage. So
No, you can't. It's not. It's not really a lot to her offense.
well, no. I mean, again, I tell you like this. She's very good. She's very good. But I mean, I
No,
don't know, man.
I give that match a C plus.
I was gonna give it just a flat out D minus, just because I'm just so fucking pissed. I'm serious. I'm just so. I didn't even. I didn't want to finish the fucking takeover last night. I
Yeah.
didn't. But professionally, I was obligated to. I've never not finished one. But that did something to me because I don't see a vision here. And obviously, we're not on the inside looking in. We don't know what they got planned down the road. We could look back on this 4 months from now and be like, fuck, man, we were pissed, but did we turn out to be wrong? But that was her time last night, and they robbed her.
Yeah, it was just trash, man. I was so angry about that.
Even the people, I think, were booing.
Yeah, they
No,
were. They were.
understand.
No, they didn't like. Yeah, no, they didn't like it at all.
The
So
match was
disappointed that.
terrible. The stipulation was terrible. It never should have been a 4-way in the first place. If this had happened in a one-on-one setting, maybe it goes a little different. But the fact that I watched a bunch of fucking tandem wrestling from two people for the first 15
I'm talking
minutes,
about
that
straight
pissed me off.
tag team wrestling. It's like, what's going on with this? Hey, what? You supposed to be in the fatal 4-way.
Right, right, right. Yeah, they misplayed this. They misplayed this badly.
So,
Yeah,
and
man.
I was already kind of iffy about it being a fatal 4-way when you got two friends there. But like, what, what's really
It
going on?
works. Again, we talked about this. It works if the friends both have the same desire. That SummerSlam triple threat between Charlotte, Carmella, and Becky worked so well because Becky and Charlotte wanted to be the champion so bad. They were willing to beat each other and do what it took. They ended a friendship over the fact that they wanted to be the best. Neither one of them were crying or emotionally confused about pinning the other if that's what it took. They understood that off the top.
Right.
You just didn't. I don't get that vibe from these two, and they should. I don't know. You need more women tag teams. They should be pushing women's tag teams. Why couldn't they be on Mania? And you could have had a one-on-one. And I probably still would have been pissed off about the fact that Bianca Belair did not win the title, but it wouldn't have been a D minus for me. This match really, this was the worst match on the card. It really was.
Yeah, it was the worst one. Worst one.
Fucking nonsense is what the fuck I watched.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Jesus Christ. See, even talking about this is just really, I'm so angry. I don't know
Yeah.
why I'm so angry.
It's because you had hopes. I mean, we all had hopes that, it'll be Bianca's night.
We've watched a lot of wrestling, and I think our listeners have watched a lot of wrestling, obviously, because why else would you tune in to hear us talk about shit that you watch? And we appreciate that, But I'm saying that to say, there are times where I've watched wrestling over my 20, almost 30 years, 20 plus, almost 30 years, where when I turn the match on, I can look at the setting, I can look at the person, I can look at the time, and I could be like, this is their night.
Right.
There's no doubt in my mind, this is their night. Yeah, and the fucking examples are endless. I give you one. Eddie Guerrero beating Brock Lesnar for the title at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You knew
There's
from
no way out.
it came out to the end of that match, tonight's his night. There's no question about it. When John Cena won his very first title against JBL, no question about it. John Cena was the hottest guy. You was like, from the entrance to the match itself, tonight's his night. I've never that I can remember felt disdain and just pissed about the fact that the person who should have won did not win, and they went out so pitifully. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it don't make sense. Even with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart, when Stone Cold passed out, people were like, "Fuck," but you already kind of were like, "Okay, let's see it again." And they did it again, if I'm not mistaken, and they did it the right way, and it was like, okay, fuck, yeah, I, I'm
It's a
sorry,
huge disappointment.
huh?
It was a huge disappointment.
Disappointment ain't the word. Disappointment was how I felt when Finn Balor almost won the Universal title this last time. I was disappointed. But
Disappointment is me not seeing Andrade in a high quality match for WrestleMania.
right,
That's disappointment. And Shinsuke being in this stupid tag team match,
yeah,
that's
yeah. No,
disappointment. But
those are
we'll get
perfect.
to that. We will get to
This
that in our next review.
this is fucking disgust. Just plain and simple. I'm disgusted with what I seen last night. And I know I might be taking it a little far, and people might say it's wrestling. I don't give a fuck. I'm disgusted. Because when you got a talent that is so much better than everybody else on a given night, in a giving story, on a giving setting, she legitimately is the very best women's wrestler in NXT today. In NXT UK, she may be the second or third best wrestler because I just think Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley are so far ahead of the curve. But give her some time to continue to develop, you may have a different setting. But right now, she is the best women's wrestler on that roster. Now, unless you plan
Absolutely.
on telling a year-long story with her chasing this title and doing it in a way that seems significant, this was a fuck up, plain and simple.
They could be building up to that. I hope they're not.
I
They
don't
don't
want to
need to do
see
that
that.
with her.
Yeah.
They
And
don't
if I'm
need to do that with
it,
her.
I want to see her win the belt once in 12 months, lose it, and then win it again the next time
No,
out
I would be so pissed off if they send Bianca to the main roster without winning. I'd
without
be
ever
pissed.
a title. They just might be trifling enough to do some stupid fucking shit like that, and it bothers.
Yeah, no, that would piss me off. That
Yeah,
would
so
really piss me off.
fuck.
But she can do so much with your roster right now. That's a champion that you
Right,
need. A champion that can have a match with anybody.
right. So let's get to the main event. Obviously, Adam Cole, Gargano, 2 out of 3. What did you think?
A plus plus. Best match of the night. Best match I saw all year so far. Nothing that you see at WrestleMania is gonna top this. Matter of fact, I didn't care about the first two falls. I knew it was gonna come down to one last fall, so I didn't care. So I was like, let's just get to the last fall. I didn't even really pay attention to the match too much until the last fall was there. That's when the match really began to me.
Did did that match drag the first 2 falls to you?
Yeah, but it did, but that's why I didn't pay attention to the first two falls because I knew it would drag. That's how 2 out of 3 falls is. They do that. Then when you get to the last one, that's when the life comes out. And people pulling out all the stops. Got the Undisputed Era coming out,
I
thinking
told you
that the
that
match
would
is
be
over.
running, did I not?
Yeah, you said it. You did. You said that. That was the prediction. That's why we call our predictions prophetic. You know.
And I'm not gonna lie, on that run in, I was like, "Fuck, is this how he's gonna lose?" Like this would suck so bad.
I had a feeling he was going to kick out when O'Reilly and Fish hit their move. I was like, oh, he's going to kick out of that. So the fact that what really got me was when he kicked out of Adam Cole's finisher. I was like, oh man.
Oh, the last shot, yeah. But again, this also was another one of the moments where I was like, out halfway through that match, I was like, it's Johnny's night because he just kept taking a beating. He kept taking a beating. He kept taking a beating, and he
Yeah,
would get back up. He would get back up. He would get back up. And when the run in came and he kicked out after all of that stuff they did or whatnot, and by the way, he did this with no help. He even cleaned house on the outside of the ring with no help. And I was like, yeah, it's his night. It's his night. I knew it then. I was like, yeah, Johnny gets the belt. Okay, I see it now. You know, uh,
absolutely.
yeah, that amazing match, and I think it further added to the fact that Adam Cole, somewhere, some way, somehow, someday, soon, needs to get a run with the belt. Maybe I'm
A
not.
long run too.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to them running this feud back again and building up to the next takeover.
I
Like
feel like you have to, being that the Undisputed Era got involved. That should be grounds enough to uh, have that whole thing go on for a while, where Johnny's fighting each member of the Undisputed
yeah,
Era over the
yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, in different settings, bringing along some future contenders along the way. Him and one guy that you think is a future contender against Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, or Kyle O'Reilly, or Bobby Fish and Adam Cole, and one particular match where it's whatever it may be, they probably need to run this back and build something from. But the match to me was very, very good. I gotta agree, A+. It started a little slow. I was a little concerned, and I think I was mostly like a lot of people. I wanted Ciampa and Gargano to be doing this one
Yeah, just
time.
imagine what that would have been.
Yeah, that place would have been nuts. Because that's how you wanted it to end or whatever. But I mean, it
It
was.
still went nuts in this one at the end of this one.
Oh yeah, you did. You got that. But I mean, the match as a whole, it was great. It wasn't quite up to a 5-star quality to me. That like you knew when Ricochet and Gargano were going at it, that match was gonna be 5 stars, hands down. This one was more like a 4.5 to me.
Oh, because of the first two falls.
It just was a little. It started a little
Yeah,
slow. And I
yeah,
know it because you probably wrestled like a 40-minute match, and I'm not expecting high action all the time. But they had some great spots, but it's just it was a little slow. And again, you gotta forgive my attitude at that point because of what we just discussed.
hmm
I I was distraught last night, and I'm trying to power through. It took me a good 15 to 20 minutes just to get over that shit. So I'm watching it with a disdainful eye, if you will. But I mean, overall, I thought it was good. I really did. I thought it was good. When he put on the Gargano escape at the end, when he gets the escape on, I'm screaming and I'm like, he got it, he got it. He does the roll and he fucking finally taps, and I'm like, finally, Johnny don't win big matches like that.
Have you heard a pop like that in a long time? I haven't heard a
Not
pop like that in forever.
have not
For
have not.
someone winning the title, like man,
And I thought the moment was special. It was a big deal. Johnny, you want to talk about a slow burn? The only thing that happened was there was an injury to a significant part of that story. Without that, this would have, I'm going to be honest, this could have had the potential to be one of the greatest storylines of all time if it had ended with him and
yeah,
Ciampa.
yeah,
Because you've had a slow burn going for almost 15 months of them going at it, of Johnny losing, coming so close to winning, losing again, almost turning into a bad guy, doing whatever it would take, compromising himself to win, and he finally wins it at the end. I no disrespect to Adam Cole, I still thought it was a well fought match, but imagine the emotion and how people would have you wouldn't have had a dry eye in the seats probably if he beat Ciampa.
yeah. People wanted him to win.
And I thought it was special. Obviously he hugs his parents
Yeah,
and everybody, his family's there. And then you got a nice touch at the end. You got it all wrapped up. And I hate how they wrapped it up, but I get it. Ciampa
yeah.
comes
They didn't really have a
out, they
choice.
have the hug, yeah, and I guess they all reconciled at the end, and it goes off, and everybody's smiling. It's a really special moment. I with all of that and the storytelling that went on and how he overcame all the odds to get to this point, I have to give it an A+.
Yeah, me too.
I have to give it an A+. Beautiful moment. Still can go down as one of the better stories from his standpoint in the history of wrestling. I mean, all the stuff he had to go through. And the sad part is, I don't think you'll ever get a story like that again for him, at least on the main roster. Or in this case, I don't know if you would get one from the NXT roster, because now I gotta ask, other than Adam Cole, who do you go with? What's his next opponent? Keith Lee?
Ooh, I hope not. God, I hope not.
Yeah, I don't like Keith Lee. I
I
do not.
really don't. I don't see what all the fuss is about him.
I don't. I don't either. Dijakovic,
He's cool. I mean, he has
yeah,
some.
Ooh,
ability, but
Gargano, Matt Riddle would be nice.
that would be. But would you give Matt Riddle a shot at the title right now, or keep him in something with Velveteen Dream, let him capture that, then move him up?
Based
'Cause
on what I seen last night, I'd probably go Matt Riddle.
I can see that because I
You
mean
talk
I
two
said it earlier that
technician experts going at it, and ooh,
yeah, Matt Riddle, he's not gonna stay that long. He's not
yeah,
gonna stay that long at
yeah,
all.
Matt Riddle would be another guy. I don't know who else after that. I mean, Dream, yes, obviously for a lot of obvious reasons,
Yeah.
but do you want a winner take all match?
No, I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
I definitely wouldn't. I feel like you have Dream drop it at a taping, and then you know have it built up for him and Johnny. That way, it's like somebody's passing the torch off
Right,
to Velveteen because
right.
he's young. He's the face of the black and gold brand right now. It makes sense.
But and that's a beautiful thing about takeovers, man. Because once it's over, you got so many questions now. Who's next? What's what? What do we do after this? You know, like, and you got to watch. You got to keep up to stay in the know. And I think there's gonna be a lot of that coming out, man. But overall, I mean, again, pretty pretty good takeover.
Yeah,
It's a lot of things, a few things. I'm sorry for me, a lot of good things and a few things for me that are just kept it from being one of the best ones. You know, I if you ask me what I like, did I like the one before this or this one? I probably like the one before.
yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
yeah, like
All
that
of the ones before.
yeah, like it wasn't bad, but it's not what I'm accustomed to. It still was good. And again, my opinion is solely based on two or three things. One being the Walter Pete Dunne match was it just kind of derailed the momentum after the first two matches were so good. My second thing was the fact that I'm furious about the way the Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, and Kairi Sane match ended up and how it ended. And then, of course, not being able to get that Ciampa Gargano ending that we all expected to see. I think everybody kind of expected that it was going to end around this time. It's just unfortunate.
Right.
But again, very good. Not knocking it. Loved it. Loved it. Still, guarantee you, even with all those hiccups, it's still better than fucking WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. Absolutely.
Still better than
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, I loved it. I loved it. Was hyped for it. I mean, nothing like a takeover night, or whatnot. But man, that was the show. I mean, overall, you know, what would you rate it?
3 out of 5 stars because only 3 matches were awesome.
I'm gonna give it a 4 point. I'm gonna give it 4.25. I give it 4.25.
You're a generous person.
I give it
Right.
four.
I don't cut corners right now. No, they had my hopes up.
Man, well, a couple things before we get out of here. Obviously we will be doing a WrestleMania show,
Yep.
so stay tuned for that. It will be coming. Obviously, WrestleMania is 24 hours away. Uh, we'll be doing and covering that also, probably ad nauseum and probably in less of a more of a happy form than we did this one, but we'll cover it nonetheless. Hey, I got to give a shout out though before we get out of here. Ruthless Aggression Podcast. Love those guys.
Yes.
Great show.
Love that
He's
stuff.
a huge fan. I actually did a guest appearance on their show yesterday about WrestleMania and the preview, and I discussed the Baron Corbin Kurt Angle match and made my feelings well known about that. And I also kind of got a chance to talk about the Daniel Bryan Kofi Kingston match before we kind of lost and had technical difficulties and I had to drop off. But still, nonetheless, I appreciate those guys for having me on and for giving us an opportunity to get ourselves out there. We are trying to do a collaboration with them very, very, very soon, like a full show. So
Yeah.
be on the lookout for that. Keaton's super excited about it.
That's actually our second time. What you did yesterday, that's actually our second time working with them because the first time we collabed with Ruthless Aggression and
On
DJ
World's Collide.
Storms and
Yeah.
yeah, Foul Original for Worlds Collide, and one of them and me were on there with those guys, and that was fun.
Yeah, we actually gonna try to do some collaborations. We believe in giving love and stuff like that, but we don't always collab because our hours are so crazy. But
Right.
we might get into doing some collaborations with a couple guys again. I'm hoping to do something with them really soon and a couple other people, and we'll be letting you know about that and probably making a couple more appearances on hopefully on their show too if they feel so inclined. So be on the lookout for that. But I just wanted to get those guys a shout out. Thank you for having us on. And again, stay on the lookout for the WrestleMania episode. And I believe that's it, man. This is a great show.
That is it.
Yeah, that's it. So
Time to get ready to watch this Hall of Fame and not fall asleep.
well, you have fun with that. I'm going to get that.
I just want to see Harlem Heat. That's hometown.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, yeah, but hell, well, without further ado, we thank you for listening. We thank you for supporting, and most importantly, we thank you for
The
giving us
1K on
platform
Twitter.
huh?
Thank you for the 1K on Twitter.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, no doubt. Yeah, we again, when I say support, huge support on Twitter. We looking to keep growing and just getting out there, man. You know, and developing more to bring to you guys. And most importantly, we thank you for making this the best damn wrestling podcast. And we are out.